Okay, so let's discuss what is virtual production, and I will play another video,
game
and
engine.
meanwhile we will discuss it. But as you know, one of the first mainstream productions that use virtual production was or is Mandalorian. And basically, virtual production replaces the classical green screen techniques with several advantages, as you can see here. One of the main advantages, of course, is the time saving of post production, because when you have a green screen, you will need a lot of time to, do your post production and correct the blue or green screen. One of the first, movies that use tracking was, of course, Jungle Book, and that movie evolved to Mandalorian. Of course, past in the day, you had a technique named rear projection. You can see here a James Bond movie with rear projection, and it used, of course, a rear projection, but the technology was very limited because the perspective wasn't right, and precisely the quality of the background wasn't right. So the problem was solved with a new technique named virtual production. And of course, with this, you have a track camera that can adapt the background and the perspective of the background to the actual movement of the camera. So you can get pretty realistic results. And this is achieved because the name of this technique is named a parallax effect. And the parallax effect is precisely the illusion of the movement, of the synchronized movement of the background with the actual movement of the camera. Other main advantage is that the background, of course, the LED wall also is a source light, it's a natural light, and it's a very high quality light that involves that, all around your volume, and gives you, as you can see here, amazing results with both lighting and reflections on your actual physical set and your actual props and actors. So you have amazing advantages because, of course, you don't have the problems associated with green screen, And here in Mandalorian, you can see precisely that they use a lot of replacement for the problems that you have with green screen. When you have green screen, you have the problems of the spill that you can see here, and also the problem of the lack of reflection and lighting that comes from the green screen. In virtual production, on the other hand, you have amazing reflections. You have, of course, amazing lights, and you have a beautiful way to achieve realism or photorealism, like you can see here in the Mandalorian. Another huge advantage is that when you use virtual production, you reduce, very dramatically the cost of the set dressing and the construction. For instance, here you can see that the only physical objects that you have in your set is the actual desk. You saw. Let me rewind a little bit here. The desk and some of the props. And if you can see here, both the shadows, the lighting, and the reflections on the desk are amazing, are super realistic. So you can save a lot of money on construction, on building, and of course on practical set dressing. Okay. So another, of course, amazing advantage is that you can still use green screen or blue screen in in a hybrid way to produce. For instance, if you check out these, you can, let me go over there. I think it's here. You can replace part of your screen and replace it with green screen. So you have the best of both worlds. You can have a real-time background, but also if you want to protect yourself or have a backup, you still can use a green screen if you want to change something on post production. And you will have the advantage that even with green screen, you won't have spill and you will still have amazing reflections on your objects. So, what are the main advantages of BP? As let's recap: cost efficiency, real-time visualization, and this is very important for actors because actors love, you know, to feel the background, and they hate the green screen with these weird, green dress guys with small, tennis balls all around to have reference. So they love to have the surrounding, the environment behind them and react to this actual real-time environment. You have a lot of flexibility and you save a lot of money. For instance, if you want to change any part of your set, your background set, you can change it. You can change it instantly. Colors, position. You can move around objects, even complete buildings on the background. Imagine when you use traditional, set building, it's very difficult to change the set after it's built. It takes a lot of time and money. So that makes also virtual production very flexible. And of course, you have greater security and control. And Train Dreams is an amazing example because we did a forest fire that feels, pretty realistic. And we will actually see some of the testimonials, even from Felicity Jones, talking about her experience inside the volume. And she said a joke, I'm in the middle of a forest fire with a cappuccino and air conditioning. So that gives you the idea of how convenient, how comfortable, and how safe is to use virtual production. So let's discuss the main elements of the virtual production setup. We call this the volume. All this space we call the volume. And the first element and most important element is the LED background, the LED wall. Fortunately, these days, the LED walls are much cheaper than 2 years ago. And we calculate that are, fivefold cheaper. So that's the advantage of technology, it gets cheaper by the day. So we are very excited that now we are able to produce, indie films and of course music videos and commercials that are much more affordable now than ever because we can use affordable virtual production solutions. The other element that we have is a media server. Media server is the main computer, and it should be a very powerful computer that can handle, the complete 3D generated environment. So it should be, kind of powerful. This machine here is like a super gaming machine that can handle real time full 3D backgrounds, of course. We have the LED processor. The LED processor is the one that handles the characteristics, the technical characteristics of the screen, is the screen itself, such as the color calibration, such as the distribution of the image through all the LED wall, etc. We have the track camera, the tracking, the camera and the tracking on it. That is very important because, the tracking system feeds the data to the media server so the background can react in real time and in precise perspective related to what the camera is, shooting. So if you move the camera, as you saw in the video, the background will react pretty precise. And that's very important to make the effect look realistic. We have the physical lighting, of course, here, the traditional physical, light fixtures. We have also atmosphere and special effects such as fog, haze, rain, fire. And this is very important because we need to match, and we will discuss it, we need to match the characteristics and quality of the physical, practical atmospheres and special effects with the quality of the virtual VFX. And finally, we have what we call the brain bar, or also the operation bar. And basically this is the main computer that controls everything, and also the DMX controller. We will discuss the DMX controller, but it helps to make the integration between the lights and the virtual environments and lighting, to match. And we will see some very nice examples about this technique. Any questions? Oh, you have a fan. Baibab is a Sebastian fan. Beautiful. So let's discuss this workflow. We designed this workflow. We changed a little bit the workflow from the traditional one based on our experience. And it looks a little bit intimidating right now, but actually it's pretty straightforward after we explain it. And the first part of it is previs and techvis. It's very important for you to understand that virtual production is something that should be totally and fully designed on pre-production. Our motto is we'll fix it in pre-production. We don't fix it in post. And this is because the three main stages of production, that is pre-production, production, and post-production, the three of them merges into one big process. Why is that? Because in the traditional way, all your CGI, all your VFX are part of post-production. But with virtual production, those VFX happen in real time, in the moment that you are shooting. So it becomes part of production. Unfortunately, and you will see an example here, and I will go to that example, to that video. And as you can see here, fortunately, all the tools that you will use for production and the heart and brain of these tools, the software is Unreal. Maybe you're familiar with that. It's also useful for pre-production. So you will use, Unreal usually as your core software for merging the three, stages of production. And I repeat, pre-production, production, and post-production will merge into one. And it's very important to plan ahead, to design all your workflow from your pre-production stage. And you have amazing tools for that. You can see some of these tools here. You can create and design and plan the movement of your creatures on virtual production. You can, virtual scout, as you can see, these guys, virtual scouting. You can design your frames, your camera movements. You can design your blocking with Unreal engine. So this part is pretty fun because it feels like playing a game, and designing and playing a game, and this game is your own movie. So you use some of the traditional, gaming tools, and even when you're designing like car processing, as here, and I mean like running shots with cars, you can use, the actual gaming, wheel to design the routes of your car processing in 3D. So it's really, really interesting, and it's really fun the way we can solve many problems, using all these tools in pre-production. Okay. And we can see here some examples of pre-production our company applied. This was done in Opticade, in a studio in Dallas named Trilogy that's operated by Opticade. And this was the, traditional sketch from the director, and we transformed this sketch into a, full 3D, previs scene. So the director could play around and confirm the movement of the camera and, of course, the framing the director wanted. Here is actually the studio in Dallas, and this was the shooting moment where all this pre-production was applied. So the other tools, and this is very interesting because Bibi mentioned that the other tools that we use in pre-production are, of course, AI, and Gemini and ChatGPT are the usual suspects for, helping you brainstorm, writing drafts, character arcs, dialogue, writing structure. Of course, it can help you with real-time creative feedback, advice, etc., etc. But also we use tools such as Filmica. Filmica is very useful to transform your actual script into a breakdown, into a catalog, and even into budget. As doing the breakdown of a movie might be a little bit cumbersome, so it helps you to ease up these usually cumbersome or time consuming processes. So we love Filmica AI, and LTX Studio, as you can see here, can help you generate visual concepts, can help you build digital storyboards, animatics. It can help you improve communication between creative and technical teams, of course. So you should explore these tools. They're amazing. Now let's go to our main, part of the virtual production process, I think, and is the content creation. As you know, content is king, and it applies here also. The quality of the content is the main element, of course, of your virtual production workflow. And there are two ways to go. The traditional way, is you as a virtual production producer hire a 3D artist, a CGI specialist, and you hire him to design a set like this one that you saw, a virtual set, let's say a space station. And if you're familiar with tools such as Maya or Blender, this is the usual way to go. You model, you do your geometry, you do your magic, and then you prepare your assets, and then you texture your assets. You apply materials, colors, all the texturing. And after that, you create your environment, of course, lighting, and even some atmospherics such as haze or fog, etc., etc. So this is a traditional way to go. And after your 3D artist design this, then you hire your physical, practical art director. So the art director can design your actual physical set that will work with your background. And you usually tell your production designer and your art director, I need you to match my background. So you build something that matches my background. That's the traditional and common sense way to go. But we learned that that was a mistake. We are fortunate enough to have as an advisor Scott Ross, who was 9 years the vice president of Lucasfilms. You can Google him. He was 8 years the general manager of ILM. He was the co-founder of Digital Domain. He's a partner with James Cameron. So he knows all the tricks and tips about that. And he told us, you should explore the ILM way to do this. And the ILM way to do this is the other way around. The first thing they hire are the physical guys, the physical art department, the physical, production designers. And they build all the physical parts. Even if they needed, they do like scale models. And after they build that, they scan them. So that's why for us it's very important, this department here, that's the scanning department. So we can, work together with the practical art department and the virtual art department and iterate, all the process, beginning with the physical part that we should scan. So Sebastian here will explain a little bit more about these processes. And of course, we talk about scanning, but also we have techniques, realistic, photorealistic, simple techniques such as 2.5D and 2D plates that are also the traditional way to go. And Sebastian will explain you when we should use 2D plates, traditional 2.5D plates, what AI tools we can use for that, and also the scanning process, as I told you. Go ahead, my dear Sebastian.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's look pretty quickly at the types of content we generate in the studio. So, for the most basic part, and we actually use it quite a lot, you don't really need, depending on the shot, you don't really need like the perspective to warp around your movement. That's That's usually what you want to have, but for the most part, we have found that for a lot of shots, you don't really need perspective to work. So this is just an example we have here. It was for a commercial for Paramount for Dora the Explorer, and for the most shots, they really didn't need any 3D or any warping of the perspective. So for the most part, it was just 2D images between stock and AI generated 2D plates. So for the most part, it's actually a quite good solution, and it's actually pretty fast, easy way to get photorealistic backgrounds because you have a lot of stock, or you can nowadays generate a lot of photorealistic AI images like the one we have right there. So for this, when it comes to AI, there's a lot of tools. I think the best one right now for creating photorealistic AI images is like Google Nano Banana Pro, the newer model, right? And for the rest, you can use stock footage you buy online, or you can just simply go outside on the street and just take a picture of the place you want to have on the set, and that's it, right? Um, let's go to the next one, please. Now, the other type of content that is actually pretty useful is, like for running shots, you need a lot of running plates for that. You need the classic background street on the street video, and we have successfully used, like running plates that from people that have shot in like literally on the street with a car with a complicated camera rig, 360 multiple camera rigs and stuff like that. But nowadays we're pretty much solving it completely with AI solutions, because I can basically grab, for example, any reference. Let's say the client wants to have, I don't know, the streets of California or the streets of Texas in the background, or the streets of Japan. Well, you grab some photo references of the streets of Japan, and from that you can generate a whole running shot plate for from any kind of angle you want. So for running shots, it's becoming really, really cheap and becoming really, really simple to have this kind of solutions for 2D, for I mean 2D videos. I think right now the best models are things like BO3, Ray 3, Aleph, and stuff like that. We use Aleph extensively. We also use a lot of open source solutions for AI generated content. But yeah, that's the next step, right? 2D 2D images. Then we have 2D video plates, and now we're going into the 3D scanning part. So 3D scanning is basically just taking pictures. I'm going to explain the simpler version, but basically it's you take pictures of a place. Maybe you take pictures around the house. Those pictures, you throw it into a photogrammetry software, reconstruction photogrammetry software like Metashape, Reality Scan, 3D Zephyr, or Polycam or Kiri engine if you want. And the software reconstructs these images, and it learns about the distances, about the metrics of the place, and you basically get a 3D model based off the images you took, based off the place you took. So this is my favorite technique so far. It's the one that gives the best results, because you end up with completely photorealistic backgrounds, right? It's just, it's a lot of time with 3D modeling, that's a problem. It can be pretty costly and extensive to get photorealistic assetting and high quality. It's pretty hard to step away from the uncanny valley that you get a lot of times with 3D environments. A lot of times people just say it looks like a video game. and that's something you want to avoid usually on high-end productions. So photogrammetry scanning in general fixes this completely, because what's better than the actual real thing. So can we go to the next picture?
Of course.
So this is just a quick sample we have, but basically this was like 2 3 years ago or something like that, when Gaussian splatting was just coming by. It was the new thing. It was basically around. So we captured some place. We did the proof of concept. We captured some place down in Tijuana, and we basically processed that images. We captured this place with an iPhone. We didn't use like expensive equipment for this. We literally just grab an iPhone, and we did some basic scanning, and then you got the background you see right there running on the LED wall on the studio. So benefits of this is not only like photorealistic, but nowadays you can also just change the lighting of the background. Doesn't matter if it's like a Gaussian splatting or if it's photogrammetry, traditional photogrammetry. There's many hardware and software techniques that you can make to get away with relighting or editing the actual scanning result. So that way, like right here, you're seeing we got multiple. Can we go to the next picture? We got multiple relight solutions. So yeah, you can just relight your scene, and you can make it to be on the night or on evening. I don't know, in the morning. So it's a great solution, and it looks photorealistic. It looks great. This was an old proof of concept we did. We applied that on Train Dreams, and we applied that on other productions we have, so we can get pretty good photorealistic results. And nowadays, scanning is not a luxury anymore. You can do it with cheap action cams for $300. You can do it with your mirrorless camera. You can do it with your phone. There's multiple solutions. And well, if you want to go premium, you can also just get a LiDAR scanner, like, I don't know, Pixel Grid or something like that. So yeah, can we go to the other image? Yeah, was one of some newer examples we have. Just teaching about scanning in general. This was scanned with two things. We tested out, right? One version was scanned with a mirrorless camera, and one other version was scanned with an iPhone. And well, both results are pretty much production ready. Um, so that's great. You have like different advantages depending on what system you use. But yeah, that's basically it. You go to a place, take pictures or video if you want to do that way, and you process the images, and then you pretty much have a full on 3D background you can work around. We're going to explain more of this in detail about the workflows and the different solutions you can get for different budgets in our workshop we're going to have. So yeah.
Great. So, the same happens, we have several techniques, amazing techniques with also lighting. We have a technique named DMX, where, you can design your complete volume, and you can install the complete fixtures of your main, lights, and you can make all the process automatic. We will see here a very interesting video. Watch this. As you can see, he already installed his fixtures, his general fixtures, all the lights around, and with the push of a button, he can change all the lights around him with great results. So this is what we call, we use DMX protocol to make the what we call pixel mapping, because we usually use this technique of mapping what's happening in the background, so we can match the lighting characteristics in the actual physical lights. And here in the video, he explains the process, how he did that. But actually, he is explaining now that all his fixtures are DMX compatible, so he can interface the protocol with Unreal Engine or whatever you whatever software you will need. But Unreal Engine is the way we work usually. So as you can see here, he can also do like special effects like lighting. He was showing here the lighting effect with rain in the background or whatever you need. And you can even apply this technique to actual, special effects such as explosions, haze, the fog machine, the snow machine, etc., etc. So it's an amazing way to, handle your fixtures. Imagine the productivity as as a producer. Usually it took about 3 to 4 hours to reset up, to rearrange the light fixtures for a new scene. And nowadays, with the volume and with your LED background, you can program this, and with the touch, instantly, with the touch of a button, you will change both, the background, and also your all the complete, lights in your volume. So it's an absolute game changing thing, all this kind of technology, saving time and money. Exactly the same happens with special effects and synchronizing it with practical special effects. You should match what's happening in the foreground with your special effects. And I mean, maybe you're using fire like we use in Train Dreams. You will see the example in a moment. And you should match the actual physical fire that you have in the foreground close to the camera with your background fire. Same with fog, with smoke, with rain, etc., etc. So Sebastian again will explain us a little bit of the post-production process, because of course, after you do all your virtual production footage, you can refine, and you can add, and complement all the virtual production effects and VFX, in-camera VFX, with post-production effects done with AI. Go ahead, Sebastian. Thank you. Sebastian, are you there? Sebastian. Hello, hello. I think you're in mute, Sebastian.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So this tool right now you're seeing is Aleph by Runway. It's one of the AIs we use the most when it comes to post production. It's for the subtle things or just for some specific things, even though it AI has become like this big monster of a tool, or well, they try to sell it like that. It has really upgrade itself a lot, but it has some limits. We're gonna talk about those advantages and disadvantages in the workshop we're gonna have in detail. But for the most part, you can tell Aleph, like, you know what, add me rain, add me fire, change the lighting, or maybe do me the same shot I'm seeing, but I don't know, pan to the left, pan to the right. Just some subtle changes are possible with it. There are some disadvantages, major disadvantages, like the resolution, right? It's like 720, 1080p native resolution. It's not HDR or any lock. Doesn't really support lock formats or any advanced cinema pro high res formats. So yeah, it has a lot of disadvantages when it comes to really high end productions like Netflix. It's not something we're gonna use, for example, for Train Dreams, right? We didn't use this for Train Dreams, and it's actually right now it's not something you are willing to use for your next blockbuster Netflix movie. But for music videos like the one we did with Drake Bell, or for social media content and stuff like that, or commercials like the one like the Amazon WS servers, like the one we did with Amazon, stuff like that. all that content is going to end up in social media, in YouTube at 1080p or something like that. You're going to see it on Reels, on TikToks, on YouTube, So it doesn't need to be perfect for us to use it. We have been using it for the last year or two already, in general, AI tools. And yeah, it basically helps a lot in productions when it comes to these like subtle changes, or like add fire, add something on the background, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, it's a great solution for this specific uses.
Exactly. So let's move on and let's go to case studies and applications. And of course, we will begin with our favorite one, that's Train Dreams. Let's watch the trailer.
Beautiful, ain't it?
What is?
I didn't think you'd be home this soon.
Well, I just couldn't stop walking until I got here.
What are you thinking about?
I was thinking that we ought to get married.
This is rough work, gentlemen. Not just on the body. We just cut down trees that have been here for 500 years. Upsets a man's soul whether you recognize it or not.
You think that she knows that I'm her daddy?
Deep down, she knows it. Even if she doesn't know she knows it yet.
In the forest, every least thing's important. It's all threaded together. So you can't tell where one thing ends and another begins.
Do you think bad things that we do follow us through life?
I don't know. I've seen bad men raised up and good men brought to the knees.
It's all going by so fast.
Beautiful, ain't it?
What is?
All of it. Every bit of it.
Okay, so now let's see the behind the scenes. That's a very interesting thing.
Stars Joel Edgerton and Felicity Jones in I'm Clint Bentley, and I'm the director of Train Dreams.
Talk to us a little bit about the movie.
Train Dreams is a movie based on the novella by Dennis Johnson, and it stars Joel Edgerton and Felicity Jones in a story about, it really tells the story of this one man's life, Robert Grenier, who's a logger and an itinerant laborer who lives from, the early 1900s until the 1960s, and sees the world just completely change around him as his whole industry of logging and kind of expanding westward, as all of that becomes mechanized and industrialized, and he kind of feels life pass on beyond.
Okay, well, I want to talk a little bit about the story of Train Dreams project. It was an amazing project. And I received this call from Bosler Studios. And after this call, they say they had this very interesting project regarding forest fire. So they asked us if we could do virtual set assets and in camera VFX about this huge forest fire.
we flew to the actual studio to work directly with their rendering nodes and media servers.
Every project has some unique issues. In this particular case, this recent project, we had some shooting at some special frame rates, which are really interesting. And so, we're rapidly adjusting. So it might be an Unreal Engine, it might be exporting very 12K plates, but being able to do that rapidly on the spot. So having their team critical part of the process with integrated here at every stage is vital. So it's the previs, it's the creating the worlds, it's the going back and forth to iteration, and then being on set, running the wall, the volume, and having the artist here that can demand to whatever the director needs.
Parte de mi trabajo como técnico es solucionar esos problemas y hacerlo de la manera más eficiente posible todo aquí, de cómo generar estos escenarios fotorrealistas lo mejor posible, pero que también lo aguante la computadora y que todo esté corriendo en tiempo real, ¿no?
Job. I mean, it's, provided the CG environment in Unreal, CG renders that you're able to throw up there. This was the right decision to go this route for this project.
It's just been a great experience working with iDigital, and they're great collaborators, and every step of the way they were able to take direction and really hone in specifically on what our director's vision. It's been great.
Everybody, who's been helping us from both companies has been so wonderful and so collaborative and helpful to the process. It's just been incredibly easy and a wonderful experience.
Hi, it has been such an extraordinary experience working with each screen. It makes our job so much easier. So much of our imagination is done for us, because it just is, you're not acting to nothing. So it's been such a tremendous experience, and I think the effect is going to look fantastic with the finished film for Train Dreams.
Was a total and absolutely success.
We were talking to a few different partners, or potential partners, to see who could create that content for us. And as soon as we got the first tests, even the very rough tests from iDigital, those tests were just head and shoulders above anything else that anybody had sent through. And it was just very clear immediately that these were the people to work with.
Okay, guys. Now we have the glitch again.
This is your brain when you're struggling to
Sorry
focus.
about that.
And this is your brain.
Here we are. So, one very interesting thing is that we will have a workshop on, from the 23rd of February to the 28th, and we will have a hands-on practice, full day for 2 days on Santa Monica, California, in a studio. And actually, we will practice with the actual environment and, the actual Train Dream set, So it will be very interesting. Here, you can see it's an amazing set we done for Train Dreams. So here is a couple of shots, a couple of snaps from the actual production over there. And let's discuss finally the industries that apply all these things, because of course the natural thing is that we apply all these techniques and this workflow for cinema, TV, and broadcasting, but also for advertising and marketing, and exactly the same techniques apply for some of the gaming and XR workflows. This is a corporate example. We also did this for Amazon. This was a corporate video for Amazon that presented the new data center technology for AI, precisely. And all the backgrounds you see here, all the full 3D environments you see here were done with Unreal, and it was, shot on the Bosler studio, the same studio that we use for Train Dreams. Of course, we have several other applications such as live events and entertainment. You can use all these techniques also for live events like concerts, like interactive, shows, etc., etc., architecture and real estate, and as we said, corporate events. So we have some examples. We can send to you these examples to your emails, and we can send all these presentation all to all of you to your emails. So please, if you didn't yet, please share your email so we can reach you out. And we have several, of course, partners in the United States and Mexico, Opticade in Dallas, Texas, Bosler Studios in Seattle, Washington, Visual AI in California, in Anaheim, California, 1111 Studios in Mexico City, our own studio here in Tijuana. And a new partner that I want to announce is Creative Space in Santa Monica, California. We will have the new workshop in Santa Monica, California, in Creative Space, actually. So I want to share with you this information. If you're interested, we will have, as I said, a workshop from February the 23rd to the 28th. We will have 4 online sessions followed by 2 intensive days in studio. We will work with the practice with the actual set of train dreams. We will also have card processing, a couple of running shots, very cool, with actual, an actual Ferrari, and a classical Corvette. We will play with that. And we aim to, to shoot an actual music film. We usually do that so we can have a final product that's complete, And the music video is a very good product to practice with. So we will propose, usually one of our students is a singer or a musician. So we help him or her to have this final product, using our practices and using our studio. So it will be really, really fun. It will happen, as I said, February 23 to 28. If you cannot attend personally, we will have also an online version of the workshop with live streaming of the practices. So if you're in Korea, such as Aleric, or anywhere around the world, you can attend with our online version, and we will explain and, of course, work in detail with all these workflow I explained and all these, techniques, amazing techniques we already explained. So here we have for you an exclusive discount code for the attendees of our webinar. You can please write down the email. I will also write it down. Let me find, where's the chat? Here is the chat. So you can write us to Hello Academy BP @gmail.com, or my personal email is that, and my personal WhatsApp is here. Okay, guys. So if you have any question, any final question? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Alfredo. You are awesome. One of the things we will love to do is to shoot a movie in Costa Rica. It's just amazing, It's a paradise over there, of course. Yes, Aleric, you have a question?
I have a question. Is this, how would you explain your experience? Is this more directed towards cinema or Netflix production, or actually real television production? In which area you see the most potential from your side?
Everything, I think it will be pretty democratic soon enough. Actually, right now, I think it's pretty democratic because nowadays the technology is much more affordable, and with AI, we have much more. You have dramatically more tools at your reach. So it can apply. We did just actually we did vertical content for vertical mini drama for a Chinese company. So it was very low budget and it was in a vertical format, and we use virtual production for that. That's for instance. So it applies to social media, to advertising, to live events, to of course the natural cinema and Netflix applications, but it's pretty democratic now. And of course, we will discuss that, all the applications and examples. We will practice with those applications and examples in our workshop in Santa Monica. Yes.
Hey, Gabriel, I had a question.
Please.
So I'm very interested on what you guys are doing on February 23rd to 28th, right?
Appreciate it. Appreciate your follow us. Thank you very much.
100%. I love the work you guys been doing. I saw Train Dreams and the sort of like the BTS on LinkedIn.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
That's how I actually got connected with Sebastian. And that's how I like sort of understood like that's how I got Digital Creative Studio on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very interested in like what kind of like hours are you guys doing, or maybe I need to like email you for that and just like get like the more like specific information in terms of where it is and what time.
Yes, of course.
To show up and stuff like that.
Yeah, where again? Where are you based?
I'm currently based in Brooklyn, then, but I'm also planning to travel for GDC. So like, so traveling is not a problem.
Okay, great. Yeah, Santa Monica is lovely, and it's the weather is amazing now. So yes, of
100%.
course, we will let you know, of course, and we will give you a special prize as a fan of ours. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
We're
Sounds great.
so glad, and yeah, yes, of course. Let's
Very
manage
interesting
that.
because I actually did my high school in Mexico City.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Where exactly?
Do you know Green Gates?
No.
No, it's like a British international school.
I see.
Yeah. I'm Indian by culture, so it's like different.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm very interested on how you guys are approaching this industry because most production houses, they have the infrastructure, but the client side is missing.
Yes.
So I'm very interested in how you guys are managing that.
Okay. Let's explore that. Thank you very much. Any other questions, guys? Okay, thank you. Feel free to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Nice
go
to meet
ahead,
you guys. Edmundo Revelo. Thank you very much for this meeting. It was very interesting and very informative, but I have a question. For you guys, what technical challenge could impact the integration of artificial intelligence into virtual production workflows?
Okay, go ahead, Sebastian.
So AI, as of right now, it's going to disrupt not only like virtual production, just production in general, because you can completely replace the actor, even if you want. You can replace the gaffer, you can replace the 3D guys. To be honest, it's kind of worrying when it comes to that topic because you can replace everything, right? But there's also a catch, right? There's also a catch of like having real celebrities, right? Acting on your movie, the acting of the celebrity, the human touch when it comes to directing and having actual control of every minor detail. So we are trying our best to integrate this new technology into our workflows without replacing the magic of the human direction, right? Without we're trying to give the director, the DP, and every single guy in the production not only the magic and the control that virtual productions gives because it's 3D and it's on a controlled stage, right? But we are also trying to give the new AI magic, you can say AI render, you can say it like that, into this new workflow. So we are trying to avoid to replace jobs. We're trying to avoid and replace like every single one in the productions, but we are trying to merge all these technologies, right, into one single piece of workflow. And so that way you can have like the best of both worlds and uh, the best of everything, right? The best of virtual production, the best of artificial intelligence, the best of green screen, and all that combined together and have our workflow. As I told in the presentation, right now at least AI has some really rough limits when it comes to like like trying to export 4K resolution, high res resolution stuff. So right now, if you're trying to do the next big Netflix blockbuster movie, you're gonna have a impossible time with AI trying to replace everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying our best to combine everything together and have the best of every single technology as a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. Yeah, I get it. Very interesting. Let's go all with artificial intelligence. It really shows how much it helps streamline the workflows, especially in terms of saving time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It has saved us a lot of time. It saved a lot of time in the Amazon commercial, for example. It also
Yeah.
saved a lot of time in the Drake Bell music video. And when I
Yeah.
mean a lot of time, I literally mean like instead of 3 weeks of work, you did it like in 3 days. Like
Wow.
that it was quite a lot. And the same for the micro drama, vertical micro drama Chinese series we recorded in Dallas. Um, that one we recorded three entire pilots with virtual production and with artificial intelligence in one single day. We pretty much had 15. We used 15 environments for the LED wall, 15 different 3D environments, like
Wow.
20 or more 2D backplate, 2D plates, sorry, and a lot of AI post production. And that was the only way to actually do those micro drama vertical pilots with implementing every single technology. We did like 2D plates, 3D, some 3D scanning. We also did kit bashing, Unreal Engine kit bashing. We also did post production with Aleph. We also use Nano Banana. We pretty much it was a pretty big, like a star of tools coming together, and it was amazing just to be able to do that amount of work in such low amount of time without like killing the technicians, right? And yeah, and I know that because I am the technician. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to do all that kind of work without killing yourself. And it was not only like AI, like I said, it's a join of all these tools coming together in one single piece,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for everything, guys.
Thanks a lot. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask.
I have a question. I think
Yeah.
it's very well. I'm in a very like different position because I'm not a VFX artist, and
Yeah.
I'm a writer, and I work mostly on development. So that's why I'm learning about VFX and virtual production, and now AI, especially because I'm very interested about how we can like build and yeah, these new worlds and try to think like outside the box when it comes about when we read the scripts, and sometimes like in the past we used to read the scripts and say like no, this is impossible, we don't have the money to do this. And now we read the scripts and we say maybe we can do this, and
Yeah.
maybe we can do more than this, and we can, like give it a try, and yeah, do something with this. So that's why I'm learning about all of this, and as a writer is a great tool, but my question is how we can use these tools in these early stages of development. For example, some people is using some kind of pre-visualization, which is weird because it's not
Yep.
even pre-production, but it's kind of it's like sometimes it's for sales, for pitches, that kind of things is we're playing in a very weird area right now because we don't know what it is, and it's not going to be a final version or anything. And are you doing that kind of things right now? You're using AI for that kind of things, and because that's what we're doing right now, and mostly for pitches and pitch decks, and yeah, we're even using videos sometimes, and it feels weird because nobody's talking about that, and yeah. So that's my question.
It is weird. It's actually every time I get this question a lot, right? Like, hey, I don't know. They told me their story, right? They just people comes in and they just like, oh, I want to record this, and they told me, like a rough idea of what they are trying to produce. Like, would it be film, TV, or anything? They just kind of tell me the story, and they ask me directly, how much is it gonna cost? And they ask me like, how much time, how much money, and they throw in these questions directly, and the answer to that question every time is just like, it depends. It really depends. And it not only depends, like, oh, you're not going to like uh spend $10, you're gonna spend nine. No, it's not a small difference. It can be somewhere between $1K, I don't know, to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what we usually do when some studio, someone that has an idea and wants to bring it to life, like the Chinese guys with their vertical micro dramas and stuff like that, is that we ask them for the minimum we ask them for is a storyboard, like basic storyboard. Just like if you want to do the storyboard with sticks and stones, just a basic drawing, go ahead. But we really need a shot by shot review of what are your needs and what we can do about it. Because yeah, you can, I mean, if you want, you can use AI to bring the drawing to life, maybe, or maybe you're already a good drawer, you know and or maybe you do the storyboard in Unreal Engine or in Blender, with placeholders and like basic 3D. That's also valuable. But apart from the script itself, we need a shot by shot of what do you want the visuals to be, like a rough idea, so that way we can recommend the best solution depending on your shot. Because something so simple, a minor change in the shot can be a completely different price range, right? It's not the same to have I don't know, a big fire in the far background of your shot. It's not the same to have it right there, to have it, I don't know, in front of the actor, or to have it in the actor, right? It's completely different solution, or you're gonna do for that. Completely different, and completely different price range for those three ideas. So yeah, we have been using a lot of AI for storyboards. Most people already have come in with basic drawings and a basic storyboard. There's also some people that come in with us already with a AI storyboard. They just send us the storyboard, and it's basically AI with the script, and that's fine. It's previous. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's never perfect. It's all right if it's pretty rough. It's fine if you don't really know how to draw, as long as you get your idea across the table. It's fine if the AI it's not perfect. It's fine if for some reason there's like 6 fingers on one hand of the storyboard. Like it doesn't really matter. Why? Because previous it's just that. It's just to give you an idea. When it comes to us, we already know the technical language or the cinematic language for everything. We already know what kind of shots we work. So unless you're, I don't know, unless you're trying to sell the previous idea to some investment company, to some production studio or something like that, maybe in that case you really want to get into the details with the previous, right? Because most likely some people are going to watch your previous. Maybe the investor is going to watch the previous, and maybe the investor doesn't really know about the technicals or doesn't really grasp cinematic language. So maybe for you to sell that idea to them, you really need to work really hard on the storyboard for them to really grasp that idea, right? Maybe you will need to do a animatic or some sorts, or send the storyboard with some I don't know, Foolies, or make it a video, right, with some kind of animatic or some sorts. So yeah, it really it depends. What you're looking for.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, thank you. Helps a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. If there's no more questions, I mean, I'm here. If there's no more questions, thanks a lot for coming to the webinar. We have a lot of these webinars. We always just cover the basics and lightly explained everything. And if you ever come down to the workshops, well, you can get a real grasp of everything, and you will learn in detail all the workflows and solutions we do. And when I mean like every solution, you're basically gonna learn like from the AI stuff, which is new, to the classic virtual production solutions we work with. So yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Have a nice day. I am on also on LinkedIn. You guys can contact our pages, and I'm also there. So yeah, feel free to contact us. And thanks a lot for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Bye.